welcome to our special Marvel Now edition of Marvel Now Comics. This is going to be kind of an overview of what's been out. We have our very own Professor of Marvel, Will Harris, here, who is very knowledgeable about all things Marvel and runs a comic book website called comicsblend.com, which has news, reviews, all sorts of stuff from, Professor X to Bond, all sorts of geeky goodness. And thank you, Will, for joining me.
My pleasure.
Yeah,
I
got
love
a lot of stuff.
talking Marvel. Very excited. It's really cool when you do a relaunch. There's a little bit of nervousness and a little bit of excitement, and I think some of the gambles they've had have paid off. And let's get into it.
Yeah, what's your favorite?
Let's kick it off.
So
well,
far?
the book that kicks it off, of course, is Uncanny Avengers. Rick Remender, John Cassaday's doing Marvel art again. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Once again, this comes out of, it's like the healing process after Avengers versus X-Men. Basically, Cap and Wolverine have assembled this new team, and Havoc is the leader. And before they can even form, the Red Skull has been reborn. And the last time I was here when I read the preview, I screamed like a little girl at the last page because they're taking the Red Skull and making him like the ultimate supervillain, and I'm really excited. And just great art. I'm really excited to see how these guys are gonna kind of intertwine. It's just like a new kind of book, and it's really, really cool. And I've already learned that in number 5, they're going to recruit some more. Sunfire, Wasp, and Wonder Man are going to join the team. And they're going to have Apocalypse and Kang are going to be part of it. So big plans for villains.
Sounds like a big book.
A book that I've over the years, I'm on again, I'm off again. Because I love Matt Fraction, I wanted to try Fantastic Four number 1.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I mean, he captures the spirit that they are Marvel's first family. There's a sense of adventure, and they're basically what Reed is going to do is he's taken all the family on this kind of vacation through the cosmos, kind of Doctor Who-ish, if you will. But there's a kind of a heartbreaking reason behind what he does. There's this big tragedy. Okay. So that's going to carry it through. So, I mean, just a great sense of adventure. Matt Fraction does a really great job of setting up each member and what they mean and how they are as a family. So, really good book. Good. Going to be kind of exciting to see them off Earth through the dimensions. And what's weird is, little Franklin, he's already having these weird premonition nightmares. So, it's going to be a bumpy ride in their vacation. So.
Cool, good.
And you may have heard me talk about the X-Men, and
just a little bit. I used to make fun of him because all he would buy was X-Men, and we've cured that a little bit.
He's
now.
cured me. He's got me on other kind of indie stuff and stuff I need therapy for. But anyway, so all new X-Men. Mr. Brian Michael Bendis has taken over the X-Men franchise, and this is really weird because when he took over Avengers Disassembled, there was blowing up and death. So I was thinking there was going to be some massive kind of thing.
Big opening.
Yeah, and it was really kind of heartfelt. As a longtime X-Men fan, Beast is really the heart of it. Who I gotta love Beast. So basically, he sets up the status quo of the mutant universe now. New mutants are now being born, and there's 2 scenes where these new mutants kind of come into their powers. And they've kind of set up the 2 rivals. There's Cyclops, and who basically is the new Magneto. I thought sure after AVX they were gonna redeem him, but he's like, I am the guy who's save it whether you like it or not. I'm gonna save the mutant race. And so what's happened is I won't say, but eventually the original 5 X-Men from back in the day are gonna be brought into the future in hopes they can change the future. And so that's kind of the status quo that's being set up. And like I said, it wasn't the big be-all, and I think it's building to that.
Yeah,
but it was just kind of cool to
slow.
it was kind of a slow burn, but it was kind of nice. Cool. Another X-Men book. This is probably the biggest shock to me of all the Marvel Now announcements. X-Men Legacy, starring Legion. Now, what's weird about this is Professor X's son, who's got multiple powers, multiple personalities. He's kind of been like a villain in some ways. He caused the Age of Apocalypse back in the 90s. I'm showing my age.
Whoa.
He caused the Age of X during Mike Carey's run. And so he's got the worst haircut of anybody in comics. I mean, seriously, and the worst costume, which is usually pajamas. So you're going to make him the star of this new book. But it's really weird when we take it, he's kind of like in therapy. He doesn't know that his father has passed away. And some of the scenes, if you're a fan of Matt Fraction's Casanova, there's just some really freaky stuff going on. Cool. in his mind and in his weird therapy sessions. So basically, David, who's his real name, is going to be picking up his father's legacy in his own weird, strange way. And from what I've heard, he's going to come into conflict. He's going to question Wolverine. He's going to question Cyclops. It's like, so really some really weird stuff going on there. Very ambitious.
Cool,
so it's like X-Men with a twist of like psychedelic sci-fi, if you will.
Hey, that sounds good to me. Yeah, the other one I'm really excited for has been Thor. This is Jason Aaron, who writes Scalp, who just finished that up. And this is him fighting, what was it,
It is the God Butcher.
Yeah, the God Butcher. Through 3 different timelines, 3 different eras, which is like young Thor, current Thor, and then Thor's the one-armed, one-eyed King of Asgard.
The King of Asgard.
Which is pretty badass.
And it's kind of cool if you're a serial killer of gods. And so he kind of fights these... It's almost like this weird kind of like detective story in all these different times, but with kind of, you know, biblical, godlike, mythic things. So I was really excited about this.
Yeah.
Iron Man, Kieran Gillen and Greg Land, they're taking over Iron Man and Tony Stark. If you like Iron Man, it's kind of more of the same. It picks it up. It picks up an old storyline, Warren Ellis's Extremis.
Oh yeah,
basically,
that was really
which
popular.
is also, if you kind of want to know what Iron Man 3, the movie's going to be about, this is kind of a good primer for that because they have some of the scientists from that. Kind of cool. And issue 2 of Iron Man comes out this week. So
cool.
Deadpool. Just
insanity. I mean, look at those cats. I mean, look at the second issue. They got more farm animals.
Basically, it's Deadpool has been recruited by S.H.I.E.L.D. to fight. Basically, all the former presidents are coming back from the dead. So it's kind of a patriotic zombie kind of. It's
art
just
by Tony
freaky.
Moore,
Yeah,
who's fantastic Walking Dead. So yeah,
it's just
violence,
it's just freaky.
nonsense.
It's just freaky.
Thumbs up.
I'm really showing my age here because I remember old school Marvel 2-in-1 co-starring The Thing and the guest star.
Yep.
Marvel Team Up starring Spider-Man and the guest star. Well, out of ABX comes A plus X. And the first issue was really cool. There was Cable and Captain America and then Wolverine. And so it's going to be team-ups. So really exciting.
Cool.
If you're mourning the loss of the Defenders.
Which we all are.
Which we love,
which
Matt Fraction.
Really good.
But Red She-Hulk, she's starring in her own book. Issue 2's out this week. Once again, she's working with S.H.I.E.L.D. and Machine Man. Talk about another blast from the past.
Oh, Machine Man. Nobody's seen him since Next Wave. He got too drunk on beer, and, you know, if robots can get drunk on beer, I guess.
What's interesting about Avengers Assemble, Kelly Sue DeConnick is taking over, and this is kind of the book that's kind of like, if you will, inspired by the movie.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is Spider-Woman and Captain Marvel are joining. So could that mean that in Avengers 2 or 3 we'll see Spider-Woman? I think we should. I'm voting for Spider-Woman.
More
to be in
female
Avengers.
spy, you know.
I always think of Mila Kunis should be Spider-Woman. That's my thing.
Cool.
I'm going to stand by that.
All right, cool.
Out this week, I just read this. Indestructible Hulk #1, Mark Waid is taking over. What I loved about this is Bruce Banner is like, I'm tired of being... You know, Reed Richards gets to be a genius. Tony Stark gets to be a genius. I'm a genius.
Yeah, he's
I
just
want to
smart.
I want to, and it kind of what I read about. It's gonna kind of remind you of back when Peter David, when Bruce Banner was in control of the Hulk's body, and he ran the Pantheon. So it's gonna be cool. Maria Hill's part of it. S.H.I.E.L.D.'s a part of it, and this whole issue is basically kind of Bruce Banner and the Hulk auditioning for Maria Hill and S.H.I.E.L.D. And there's a really cool old school villain in it. Really love this. So definitely give this a try. Mark Waid's Indestructible Hulk.
And Lionel Yu doing the art, who did last the Ultimates, I think, with Mark Millar, which was not bad. It was shiny.
Another big icon relaunches tomorrow. Captain America. The weird thing about this is, how do you cover like 8+ years of Ed Brubaker's great espionage and spy? Yeah. You take it on a whole new twist. You go sci-fi.
And Remender's the person to do that.
Rick Remender, he's kind of, he's really good at doing all the bad boys like Deadpool and Wolverine and Uncanny X-Force. So I'm really curious to see how he's going to take on Marvel's big Boy Scout. So really interesting what's going to happen. I don't even want to spoil it. Just give it a try. It's a whole new different spin on Captain America in another dimension.
Good. It's good to get new blood and new, Captain America stories that aren't crime noir stuff.
Exactly. And then another Journey into Mystery. Thank goodness there's one book that's still keeping its titling, 646.
And number
646.
I mean, we're getting Sif standalone stories, she's always been one of my favorite Asgardians, and she's really badass. It's written by Catherine Immonen, who is Stuart Immonen's wife, and she does a lot of good female-driven stuff, and the art is by Valerio Sheety or Shitty. That's a really crappy last name if that is how you say it.
He said it, I didn't.
But he just came off of Battle Beasts, which is surprising for some, doing Battle Beasts and then doing this. But this looks great. Like I was actually really impressed when I opened it up, and the color's really nice, and the art is just, it's nice fantasy kind of esque. There's all sorts of cool things.
But if you miss Kid Loki is going to be joining the Young Avengers along with Kieran
Yeah.
Gillen. That's something coming in 2013. I'm really excited about, and probably the other book I'm most excited about is I'm excited about. Even though there's two different ones, there's two X-Forces. Uncanny X-Force with Sam Humphries, Psylocke, and Storm. And then there's all the bad girls, and Puck of Alpha Flight. And then there's another X-Force that's going to be led by Cable with Colossus and Domino. To get your 90s fix, big heavy metal again. So a lot more to look forward to in 2013.
Yeah, there's still a lot more. Much more. Marvel Now will not be stopped because it's now. Right now. Thank you. Yes, cool. Thank you, Will, very much.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And, see you guys later.